Happy Solar Sunday, everybody. It's Jaime Greene, the Solar Queen, and I'm really excited to be live tonight to talk about the going solar process. If you're new to my show or you're watching it for the very first time, I help homeowners go solar and save on their energy costs. It's a very hot topic in the state of California and in several states, but I reside in Northern California, and where our energy costs are quite costly. And so one of the things I do on this show is I educate all of my viewers on how solar works, what is the process, how they can go solar, how solar works, how does it save money, the tax credit, everything. I talk about all sorts of things every Sunday about solar. So if you have any questions about solar, I want you to let me know, drop them in the comments because I can see them, and I will answer your questions about solar live on my show. So thank you for watching. And if you're watching on the replay, please let me know replay. And if you have questions, let me know, and I'm happy to answer them. So I want to talk to you guys about, what is the going solar process? A lot of people are starting to think about solar because they're seeing a lot more solar, hitting their neighbors, rooftops getting installed and everything. And it can be somewhat of a process for some, depending on how much energy they're using. Do they need a main service panel upgrade? Do they need a new roof? All these things come into play when we have the conversation about solar. So this evening or this afternoon, I actually had a conversation with a homeowner who is wanting to go solar because they want to save money. They want to help the planet be greener and cleaner. And they are not happy with the utility company because they keep raising the rates. And so if you're tired of seeing rate increases, or better yet, if you live in Northern California and PG&E is your utility provider and you just got your March billing statement, or, at least for April, because here we are. Gosh, I can't believe it's almost the middle of April. It's what is today? April 11th. Time is flying by. But in the month of March, the utility company did a rate increase. And so people are automatically seeing a more expensive utility bill. And that's what's triggering conversation. So people are starting to see more solar panels going up onto homes. If they live in an area where there's new home construction, they're seeing solar panels being installed on those homes. And rising energy costs, global warming, whether you believe that or not, the summers are getting hotter. It's getting hotter earlier in the year. We're seeing tons of things happening weather-wise that seem a little bit unusual, and that just starts getting people thinking about solar. So this homeowner that I met with today, she wanted to just find out, she really just wants to save money. And I have good news for everyone living in California. Here's the big secret. You will save money on your energy costs if you go solar. I don't care where you live in the state of California. You may have a medical baseline. You may be on the CARE program. You may have FAIR, all these financial assistance, for the utility. And my son just came in. Hi, Bubby. I am live talking about solar energy. Do you want to tell the people what you think about solar? No. What do you want to say? Do you want to tell them do we have solar on our rooftop? Yeah, we do. We just got our true up. And what is a true up? True up is when the utility company settles with you for the year. And the whole goal is to get to net zero in your costs and the credits and the debits. And this is Nolan. Say hi.
Hi.
So the whole goal is to get to net zero. He just left. To get to net zero, meaning that you don't owe the utility company anything for any energy that you use that your solar system didn't provide you. So I'm going to walk through some of the things to consider when you're thinking about going solar. Some of the questions I would ask you is, how old is your roof and what kind of material is it made out of? Because there are certain roofs that we're not going to install solar on. So it's really important to know what kind of roof you have, what the material is, and how old it is. Because if you need a re-roof, we're going to help you figure out how to do that. We can work with roofers that we have relationships with that are willing to include the finance or roofing expenses in with the solar financing costs so that you only have one payment. And if that's the case, these solar, the roofing companies agree to do the work up front and then get paid on the back end after solar is installed. So if you need a new roof, and you have expensive energy costs, it's the best time to get solar and a new roof is together and then include it all in one payment. So that's the first thing that I talk to homeowners about is tell me a little bit about your roof, what kind of material it is and how old it is. The second thing that we discuss when we're talking about solar for your home is your main service panel. So main service panel is important. It needs to be to code. So if you live in an older neighborhood and you're not sure if you need a new main panel or not, and if you don't know where your main service panel is, that is okay. When we were going solar, I had no clue what it was. I didn't even know where to find it. I didn't even know it existed. But it is the switch that you turn off the main energy. It's where the electricity, if you needed to turn off all the energy to the house, you would hit that main service switch and it would turn off all the breakers, turn off all the sub panels, everything. There would be no energy to the home. The reason why this is important is because the inverter is tied into your main service panel, and the inverter is the piece of equipment that is used to convert the solar energy into usable energy that runs through your home. So it's important that that main service panel is up to code, that it's not a tripping or fire hazard or anything like that. So there are homes that are older and they have old original main panels. Likely you're going to need to have that upgraded. It could be a like for like. It could be upgraded to a 125 amp panel. In some cases, if your solar system is bigger and you need to upgrade to 200, if we can do 200, we're going to do that. But we're going to do the thing that's going to be the least invasive to the home if you're getting solar and with the electrical work and whatnot, because this involves the utility company and it involves possibly relocating the main panel if it's too close to the gas. If you're going from a 100 amp to a 125 or 200 amp, they may need to relocate it based on where it is in relation to the gas, a gas line, or to a fence or whatever. So it can complicate the process, but it's not something that's not uncommon. I think that makes sense. It's not uncommon to need a main panel upgrade. If your home was built after the year 2000 and you live in California, it's likely that you have a newer panel and main panel and you're not going to have to worry about it. So that's the second conversation, topic of conversation. The third thing that we talk about is how much energy are you actually using and how much are you spending per kilowatt hour? So it's really important to get a copy of your utility bill that will tell me that information. If it won't tell me all the information on the utility bill, then I can call into the utility company and get your usage. I know down in Southern California, SCE, Southern California Edison, they put the entire usage, a graph on there, and we can get a good idea of how much energy you're using without having to call the utility company. The other thing with PG&E, I am able to call in and get the usage and get the price. But there's other information on there, if you have a third-party clean energy generation company that's charging you, it's good to know that because it kind of adjusts the rates a little bit. So roof, electrical panel, and then how much energy are you using and how much are you spending? Because that's important, because when we get to down to the solar proposal, you will see your savings. And in California, I'm seeing anywhere from 45 to 65% savings on energy costs. It all depends on how much energy you're using. Even the lowest energy consumers, we don't use very much energy. Even for us, we locked in a super low rate for our energy for the life of our solar system. It's stupid low compared to what people are paying now, which on average throughout the state of California is 28 cents a kilowatt hour. So it's important to know how much energy you're using, what you're paying for that, and then I'll be able to show you how much your savings will actually truly be. So that's the fourth thing. The fifth thing I guess that's the fourth thing. So the fourth thing that I want to talk to you about or just share is if there's any trees. Like, do you live in an area where it's like wooded? There's like all these redwood trees or pine trees, or is there shading on your roof or where the panels would go on your rooftop? We do tree trimming where we trim back the branches, but you would need to maintain that same, tree trimming. You need to maintain it so that branches don't grow over your solar system and cast shading on your rooftop on the solar panels, so that it would, you don't want your solar panels to, produce less energy than it was originally designed to produce. So it's important to know if you have shading. If you're surrounded by trees and you might not be eligible for solar, and we don't want you to cut trees down if you don't have to. Tree trimming is okay because you can trim the tree branches back, but we had during the drought, like from 2015, 2016, 2017-ish, we had a drought here in California, and we had this huge pine tree in our backyard, and it got beetle bug. So we weren't supposed to be using excess water. So we turned off all the water to our yard, killed the backyard, which we still haven't redone it. We did redo the front yard and it's nice, but the backyard, I just saw a gopher come up. I was so mad. I'm like, oh, this gopher keeps coming back. We got to figure out how to rehome him into the open space. But the tree was dying, and the pine needles were dying, branches were dying. Anytime there was a windstorm, I was always afraid that there was a branch would come falling off and hit a house and become a liability. So we had to go out and get a special permit to cut down the tree after we had an arborist come out and determine that the tree could not be revived or, saved. And so we had it cut down. And the what is it called? The silver lining of that, which we loved the tree and the shade it provided, but the silver lining was it allowed us to be able to put solar on a rooftop because it didn't cause any shading anymore. So if you have shading, that could be tricky. And then the last thing that, I discuss it with you as a homeowner is whether or not you want to pay cash or if you want to finance it or if you want to lease it. I typically help people buy their system outright and not lease it. Leasing does make sense in certain situations, and that's just a, topic, conversation to have on a one-to-one situation to determine what's the best way for you to get solar. Because even if you lease it or get a power purchase agreement, you're going to save money on your energy costs over the long haul. You're just going to save more money if you finance it, and you're going to save the most amount of money if you pay cash for your system. But I also know not everybody's in a position to pay cash for their solar system. So the next best thing is going to be to finance it. And to finance it, you just have to qualify and make sure you have your credit score is high enough. I like to see 640 and above. And if not, we can go down a little bit more, but 640 seems to be the nice little threshold for the lender's criteria. But all this means, guys, if you go onto Facebook and you look at solar, if you get targeted and retargeted by ads for solar companies, they're going to say no cost solar or free solar, whatever. That's not necessarily true. You still have to pay for the equipment, but it doesn't cost anything out of your pocket to make the switch over to solar. So a lot of homeowners opt to finance their solar system, not pay a penny out of their pocket, start making solar payments after the solar is installed. And then because your solar system is now your little power plant on your rooftop, you're eliminating the vast majority of your generation, distribution, and transmission costs, which is what you're primarily paying to the utility company for your energy. So 3 things you can't escape in life: death, taxes, and, well, you could probably escape some taxes, but your energy costs. You always are going to need electricity. But when you go solar, you can. So you now have a choice. You can now switch to solar and you can eliminate a vast majority, if not all, of your energy costs with solar power. And of course, that all depends on how much roof space you have, if you can go solar and all that good stuff. Good stuff meaning, your roof is not a roof that we can't install on. Like one of the very common, not common roof, but a rooftop roofing material that we don't like to like is very, very, very fragile, clay roof tiles. I don't really see them very often, but they're so brittle and they can break so easily and you can't walk on them. So there's some tricky things that we have to do to install on a clay roof. But for the most part in Northern California, I see shingles, I see cement tiles, and whatnot. So or a flat roof. So it's totally possible. But the good news is if you want to go solar or you want to have the conversation, you can reach out to me and we can have this conversation about getting solar for your home, because it is April 11th. The sun is out longer. It's already very warm. It was, I think, in the upper 70s, mid 80s. It's been warm. So people have probably already started using their air conditioning. And the good news is if you start going solar now, you start the process now, you can get your solar installed and be able to capture all that beautiful sun in the summertime. And the reason that's important is because you're going to generate all these excess energy credits that you're going to go put into your net energy metering account with utility. And then in the wintertime when the sun isn't out as long, you're just going to pull from those credits. You're going to debit from those credits. And that's where the goal is, remember, net zero or a credit if possible. So what I do is I try and make this process as easy and as effortless as possible. It's not always the case. I have a couple of customers who the installation process has not been the best journey and beyond my control, but I'm there with them throughout the process. But the vast majority of my homeowners that I help go solar have a really good experience going solar, and that's what makes me excited and happy, because at the end of the day, and I've said this before on several of my shows, at the end of the day, this is a construction process. So the process is this. You say, hey, Jamie, I want to get solar. I want to talk about solar. Can you help me? And I say, yes. Let me ask you the questions I went over at the beginning of the show. Send me a copy of your utility bill, and then I'll get your usage, and then I'll put together a proposal for you. And then we meet over Zoom or like over Google Meet or something. Or if you want to, we meet in your backyard, socially distanced with a mask on and everything, and we go over your solar proposal. And at that point in time, you get to decide if you're ready to move forward. Hopefully you are, and you go solar. And all that means is if you decide that you want to finance it, we'll go through a pre-qualification process, which is a soft credit check. It's not a hard credit check. It only becomes a hard credit check when you decide to go forward, and it's not going to impact your credit score too much. But you can get pre-qualified and see if you even qualify for financing, which most people do. Like I've only had one person that I did not know that I was helping another solar consultant like get their people pre-qualified, and they failed, and there was nothing we could do for them except for help them get credit repair, and that's a whole nother topic of conversation. But most people qualify for it. And then once they do decide to get qualified for it, then and go forward, then everything's DocuSign. That's the beauty of this. I would send you all the documents that you would need to sign and then schedule a site survey. So after everything's signed, you get a site survey. Site surveyor comes out and they measure everything. They take pictures. They check everything and make sure you can go solar. And then once that's done, then all the engineering and designing happens. And that's where there's a little bit of lag time there. And if you need a main panel upgrade, we coordinate that with the utility company. And then from there, we schedule your installation once we get the permits from the local jurisdiction. So it's really, there's a lot of waiting time in between, but it's still, it's just a part of the process like construction jobs usually take. As soon as the permits are in hand, and if you do need a main panel upgrade, that'll happen. If not, solar gets installed, and then your final inspection is scheduled with the local jurisdiction to come out and just inspect, make sure everything is installed correctly and to the plan, based on the plan. And then as soon as that happens, we submit for permission to operate or interconnection with the utility company. And that could take a couple of weeks. It could take a couple of days. It all just really depends on where things land and what PG&E or SCE or San Diego Gas and Power decide to do. So gas and electric, SDGE. Yeah. So once, after we meet and everything gets signed and everything like that, it really goes off into another section of all the construction stuff. But I am with you throughout the journey and the process, and do everything I can to keep you informed of where the project is at and everything. But really, it's the installation, the whole installation process is a whole separate thing, separate from me. But as soon as you get solar installed and you're interconnected, you might have one more utility bill to pay that includes gas and electric. But once you're solar powered and interconnected, you should not be seeing any more expensive electricity bills. And that's the whole goal of solar, is to eliminate and reduce that cost. You still pay for gas. You're still going to pay connection fee that everyone has to pay, but you can be proud of having solar on your rooftop. That's clean, renewable energy from the sun. That's free. Like, the energy is free from the sun. It's just you're making payments. If you finance it, you're making payments for the solar equipment that's on your roof. And once it's paid off, you own it, and the power is just free. And you just continue to pay that monthly connection fee. And then it's on average $10 to $15, depending on where you live in the state of California. In other states, it varies. So really, guys, it's a simple process. Sometimes it's not, it might not take very long. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, depending on the complexity of your job and whether or not you opt for batteries. I'm seeing more and more people get batteries in the state of California, just given the fact that, there is potential power cuts. I know that there's NEM 3.0 that's is proposed and may be coming into effect at the end of the year or beginning of next year. If that gets approved, I need to study up on that. I don't know, but I'm just hearing there's a lot of buzz around that. So that creates another urgency to go ahead and get solar installed this year. And I want to help you do that. So if you want solar and you want to, reach out to me and set up a time to look at solar for your home, you can email me at Jaime Greene, the Solar Queen. Here we go. Here's the Jamie at JamieGreeneTheSolarQueen.com. And if you want to go ahead and set up a time to meet, you can go to my website, which is JamieGreeneTheSolarQueen.com. And you can answer some questions there. You can also submit your utility bill there, and you can schedule yourself an appointment to meet with me via Zoom. So you can do that. Here's my email address. Let's do this. Hold on. How do I do? Okay. Oh, scroll at the bottom. Show. There we go. So you can email me there. Now, if you are a business owner and you are interested in solar for, if you have a winery or you have agricultural property and you have expensive energy bills for, a farm or a warehouse, or maybe you have a car dealership and you want to get solar on your car dealership along with electric vehicle charging stations, and you want to move everything over to green energy and you want commercial solar, you can email me at Jamie. Here's my email for commercial, Jamie at ExcelsiorSolar.com. And you can email me there for commercial solar. So I have some amazing technology, carports. If you have a commercial business and you want carports where you're creating shade for your customers and you need energy for your building, and EV charging stations, I can help you get that. And it's not your traditional fixed carport. It's like it moves and rotates with the sun, so you need less solar panels than a typical fixed carport, which is amazing. And that's only going to save you and your business more money. And the cool thing with that is you qualify the tax credit and you have depreciation. And it's a wonderful thing. So Commercial, Jamie at ExcelsiorSolar.com, and for residential, Jamie at JamieGreenTheSolarQueen.com. And you can go to my website and set up yourself an appointment with me. I am going to be out of town beginning next Saturday. We're going to have a little family vacation, but I will be still checking my emails and meeting with people if that's something that they want to do. But yeah, so you can just reach out to me for getting solar for your home or business. I want to help you save money because I know that I can. And that makes me feel really good about helping people save money, especially now where life is just getting more and more expensive. So why not cut costs somewhere where you can? And then take that money and invest it or put it somewhere else in your life or help, maybe it's just going to help alleviate some stress that you might have in your life. I want to be able to help you do that because I've got the power to do it. So that's it, guys. Have a wonderful Sunday afternoon. It's I'm going to take my kids outside and go play in the backyard, maybe do some tetherball or go ride around the neighborhood on their bikes. But enjoy the rest of your Sunday and have a great week. And I will see you guys next week. All right, take care. Bye.